Hello my sexy muffins and welcome back to another video. In this video we are doing an SCP one which has been requested, and no, it's not a Patreon one. I first want to excuse the fans that are going. I have pots and since it's officially spring and summertime coming up, I'm not going to be able to have them all the time without the recording, so I apologize in advance. Anyways, back onto the video. So the video is going to be about SCP, not SCP. It's going to be an SCP video with Dr. Jack Bright. I will have a disclaimer of why I'm doing him. And ex soulmate listener. In this soulmate universe is where you have a chibi version of your soulmate. So listener is going to have a chibi Jack, who is their chibi of their soulmate, and Jack Bright will have a chibi version of you. These are going to start out as headcanons and such from my head, and then maybe a scenario as we go on. Now let's get on to the disclaimers. Disclaimer number 1, Jack Bright is now his own standalone character, as more people have added on to his character over time, and that we do not support Admin Bright at all. I still use Jack Bright because a lot more people have added to Jack Bright instead of just Admin Bright. Admin Bright didn't add everything about it. So people have added to Jack Bright's character, and it's not fair to them to do that. I do respect if you use the name Shaw, though, because if that makes you comfortable, whatever makes you comfortable, that is fine. But we do not support Admin Bright at all on this channel. Disclaimer number 2, Jack Bright is not Yandere canon. This is just for fun and not to be taken seriously at all. Simping for fictional characters and fictional Yanderes is fine, just do not be illegal or gross about it, and remember that to separate fiction from reality and headcanon from canon and all that good stuff. Yanderes are not ideal partners to have in real life. Thank you. Now let's get on to business. Jack Bright is the type of Yandere that has been super clingy to his chibi soulmate. Very much so. He adores her and knows that one day, since his chibi soulmate is still alive and has been alive just as long as his soulmate is either not born yet, is still growing up, or is anomalous like him and cannot age. So he's had his chibi soulmate for a long, long time, ever since he was born. You're born with your soulmate's chibi form, even when you don't. Well, even when they haven't been born yet. And the only way that they disappear is if they have passed away before you, or if they become deceased when you have your chibi soulmate. That is the way that you know that your chibi soulmate is either coming, or is here, or is such. You can tell the age range of your soulmate by, if your chibi soulmate stays basically the same age for a really long time, they're either immortal or they haven't been born yet and they haven't aged up to the point where you'll meet them. And if your chibi soulmate is older looking, it's probably that they're closer to that age range. So anyways, let's continue. He was very protective of his chibi soulmate. He realized quickly that his soulmate must not be born yet, and that he wanted to protect you at all costs. So he kept your chibi version to him at all times, even when he became an SCP junior researcher at the Foundation. He kept you close. He knew he would meet you one day. He just did not know when or how. When he became anomalous himself, he was glad you were still around as his chibi soulmate, that nothing had changed. He could not wait to meet you, his real full-on human soulmate, and when he did, he was stunned. He met you in the Foundation when you were chasing after Chibi Jack Bright. You were a new researcher, and your chibi was running amok. You got hired rather fast once they saw your chibi version. You were worried they would not hire you because of the chibi that you had. He was mischievous, chaotic, and very odd. One day, your chibi version had gained an amulet, and you never knew what it was. And that's when your life changed. You physically stopped aging when your chibi soulmate got its amulet, catching the eyes of the Foundation. When they saw your chibi, what chibi soulmate you had, they instantly decided to recruit you because you were the soulmate of Jack Bright. They did not tell Jack Bright that you were his soulmate. They just knew they needed to get you on staff, that it would be the easiest for everyone in the end. And they were going to let it play out. So you guys met and you were chasing after your chibi who was running down the hall and ran into the chibi version of you. You stop and see yourself and then look up. There, right there, was someone who was not looking like your soulmates. Odd thing was, your chibi soulmate didn't change physical appearance like Jack did. Instead, he stayed the same way he was. So you did not realize that Jack Bright, who was in someone else's body because of his anomalous effect, was your soulmate. You were confused, but he had the same amulet. And you also saw that he had your chibi version of yourself. So it must be him, but how? You both sat down and had coffee and such, and Jack explained to you his anomalous effect. You explained about the same time that Jack became immortal that you stopped physically aging. Jack realized that his anomalous effect somehow affected you, his soulmate, and he was shocked, beyond shocked. Jack would continue to be protective, possessive, and slightly controlling. He makes it so that you work with him a lot so that he cannot lose you and does not put you at risk. He also likes having you close by, and it also makes the Chibis happy who enjoy each other's company. Sorry, needed water break. My medication I have for a side effect of medication dries me out. Anyways, Jack loved you so much, and he knew that now he would never be alone, and that you would be with him forever. It took you, and he realized soon that you were immune to his amulet as well, so he wasn't afraid of you accidentally being hurt by him. For him, it was the ideal relationship. For you, you were a bit in shock of how fast things were moving along, but he was your soulmate, and you were now immortal, so he would be the only one you could be with in all of this time and such. It was a little bit unfair, but it wasn't the worst thing. Anyways, now on to a Yandere version scenario. Which the Yandere version scenario is basically where Jack shows his Yandere traits. That's what I mean. You woke up in yours and Jack's rooms. Ever since you have started seeing him, you guys weren't officially dating, but he insisted that you and him be in each other's rooms, be in sleeping quarters, because that way you didn't have to bunk with other junior researchers, and you could be in his guest room, which slowly became your room. You were unaware that Jack was having cameras watch you as is. You get up and make some breakfast as you didn't want to go down to the mess hall this morning, and you made some breakfast for you and Jack. He comes out grinning. Morning, gorgeous, he says, and wraps his arms around you. He was rather touchy feely, and you did not mind. It made your heart warm because he was your soulmate, but you were still passive on figuring out that you're immortal for a couple hundred years, and then figuring out it's because your soulmate got an anomalous effect, made you a bit unsteady. But it still made you feel at ease that you knew you would have someone with you for the rest of eternity of the world until one of you were unfortunately unalived. You were the fragile one, because if you were unalived, then Jack possibly could be unalived as well. So he wanted to keep you safe and sound, to keep, because he didn't want to lose you, and that he did not want to die himself. So what are you making? Jack asks. Just some eggs and toast. Okay, he says, I'll get the plates out. He got the plates out, and you guys had breakfast at the island and talked. The chibis were munching on small pieces of toast and eggs as well. It was adorable. So what are we doing today? Jack asks as he munches on his toast. Oh, I'm going to see Alto Clef. He wants me to. No, you're not, Jack says firmly. And you stop looking at him. What? He never given you an order that you couldn't do something. Actually, being the site director's live-in soulmate had some perks, as people didn't boss you around as much. You got to do a lot of the stuff that you wanted at the foundation. What do you mean I can't see Clef? You can't see him, he says firmly, slamming his hands on the table. I don't trust him around you. Alto Clef and Jack had beef, of course. Jack was a chaotic gremlin around him, but he knew how dangerous Alto Clef was and did not want you to be hurt by him. He doesn't fully trust Alto Clef. Jack, it's not a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal, he says firmly. I don't trust him. You could sense through your bond with your soulmate that he was unsteady, and Minnie and Chibi Jack was holding onto your Chibi tight as well. It was a little bit weird, and you didn't know what to do. Okay, okay, I won't see him. You tell Jack, and he nods his head. He goes and leaves for work, leaving without a word. You sigh and finish your food and clean up, and guess you were on chibi duty today. Okay, guys, let's get to work. I have to go file some paperwork and then message Clef that I won't be able to meet him for lunch. Your chibis looked at you and you nodded your head, putting them on your shoulders and walking out. Everything was fine and right as Wayne. You messaged Clef on your cell phone and then you went to go do paperwork. Of course, Clef was not happy about this because no way a junior researcher was going to stand him up when he asked this junior researcher for help. He did not realize you were Jack's mate as he not had seen your chibi yet. Sorry, I keep wanting to say emoji for chibi. Senior chibi yet. You end up going down the halls and you run into Alto Clef, who looks at you. Why the hell did you turn me down, researcher? He snaps at you and gets close. You realize he was rather angry at you and you try to explain, but he slams you into the wall. He was pissed off. And then he sees your chibi. Well, the chibi Jack. And his eyes widen. Are you freaking kidding me? You're Jack Bright's soulmate? You look up at him and nod your head. Yes, and he asked me not to be around you. Of course he did. Why would he trust me? No woman here trusts me. Why would Jack trust me to be around his precious little soulmates? He snaps and walks away. You end up breathing heavy as he had grabbed your throat for a second. Whatever was going on between them was not something you wanted to get involved in. You would leave it at that, but Jack had saw everything on the cameras and he was pissed. He goes down to confront Clef and starts to beat the ever living heck out of him. They get into a scruffle and later are sent to the medical hall and have to be reprimanded. Dr. Glass was there and you come in to see Jack. What the hell were you doing? You demand. Your chibis were worried and climbed onto the bed with Jack as you got close. You see Clef was passed out and from medication in the thing with his face beat up. Are you insane? You ask, Bright, looking at his hands. You you are insane. You have to be insane, you say, and you look at him, his face a little bit battered. You lean down and kiss it. He was your soulmate after all, and you would be with him for eternity. But oh my god, he had to get control of this. We're not done about this. We're going to talk about it. You tell him and kiss his cheek again. Dr. Glass, are they in trouble? Dr. Glass nodded his head, and you knew it was going to be a while until Jack trusted Clef anywhere near you because you knew this had to be about you. These guys are freaking idiots. Anyways, I'm sorry that it's a bit longer than usual. I had to get a lot of stuff out for this. This is part one. I might make this a mini series. It might just be one off. It might be a mini series. I don't know. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see more, comment below what you would like to see and all that good stuff. And if that you want me to make this a mini series and there's something that you want me to see do in this mini series, comment below and I will do my best to do it. And also, I have the first 5 videos of June month / Pride month up for votage. They're early votes, so you can see the ones that they're all 5 are going to be done, obviously, and more for the month of June. But the most voted on will go first when June arrives. So keep an eye out for that. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Wait, Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Patreon outro. Thank you, Gav, for being my first patron. You are wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Gav. And thank you, Wicked Brony, for being my second patron. You are also wonderful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. Thank you, Wicked Brony. I hope that you all enjoyed this. And if you would like to see more, comment below what you would like to see, and I will do my best to do it. And now, stay sexy, all my sexy muffins. Bye bye. Secret outro time, secret outro time, secret outro time. Secret outro with a baseball bat. Anyways, welcome to the secret outro. Secret outro question of the day. If you were Jack's soulmate, how would you tolerate him telling who you can see or not see? I honestly would respect it because there would be obviously beef with some people, and I would have asked more questions of why I couldn't see him. I would want to know why. And would you smash Jack Bright? Yes or no? Hell yes. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this and stay sexy on my sexy muffins. Bye bye.